Imagine with me for a moment. Close your eyes and see yourself standing at the precipice of your greatest desire. Feel the anticipation coursing through your veins, the excitement bubbling in your chest. Now take a step forward and suddenly the ground beneath you gives way. You're falling, tumbling through space, your dreams seemingly slipping through your fingers like grains of sand. This, my beloved, is what the world calls a setback. But I say to you now with every fiber of my being that this fall is not your demise. It is, in fact, the very springboard from which you will launch into the stratosphere of your wildest imagination. For you see, a setback is nothing more than a setup for the most magnificent comeback you have yet to conceive. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. In the grand tapestry of existence, there are no accidents, no mishaps, no unfortunate turns of fate. Every event, every circumstance, every seeming obstacle is a carefully orchestrated part of the divine plan, your plan. Yes, you heard me correctly. Your plan. For you are the operant power of your world. You are the God of your universe, the author of your story. And in this story, you have written a chapter of momentary challenge, not to break you, but to remake you, to forge you in the fires of adversity, so that you may emerge as the purest and most potent version of yourself. Consider, if you will, the diamond. This precious gem, coveted by many, does not begin its existence in a state of brilliance and beauty. No, it starts as a humble lump of carbon buried deep within the earth. It is only through immense pressure, through what we might call a setback in its journey to the surface, that it transforms into the dazzling jewel we so admire. You, my dear friends, are that diamond in the making. Your setbacks are the very pressure needed to crystallize your potential, to reveal the facets of your brilliance that have been hidden from view. But how, you may ask, can we transmute these moments of despair into the golden opportunities they truly are? The answer lies in the power of your imagination, in the creative force of your consciousness. Neville Goddard taught us that our imagination is the God within us. It is the creative power through which we shape our reality. And it is through this power that we can reframe our setbacks, reimagine our circumstances, and set the stage for our triumphant return. When faced with a setback, do not dwell in the valley of despair. Instead, close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of your desire. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of having overcome this temporary obstacle. For in the realm of imagination, there is no past or future, only the eternal now. In this now, you are already victorious. In this now, your comeback is not a distant hope, but a present reality. Your task is simply to align your consciousness with this truth, to live from the end result, to embody the state of the person who has already triumphed over adversity. Let me share with you a profound secret. The universe responds not to your current circumstances, but to the state of consciousness you inhabit. When you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live though your comeback has already occurred, the outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner conviction. This, my friends, is the law of assumption. Assume the feeling of your fulfilled, and your setback will inevitably transform into the setup for your greatest comeback. But let us not stop here. Let us delve even deeper into the mystical truth of your being. For you are not merely a physical entity navigating a material world. You are consciousness itself, temporarily expressing itself through this human form. In this life, what we perceive as setbacks are merely the contrast necessary for our consciousness to experience and express itself more fully. Just as an artist needs both light and shadow to create depth in a painting, your consciousness utilizes these moments of perceived difficulty to add richness and dimension to your life's masterpiece. Imagine, if you will, a world without challenges, without obstacles, without setbacks. It would be a flat, monotonous existence and devoid of the very experiences that make life vibrant and meaningful. It is through overcoming, through rising above, through staging our comebacks that we truly come alive. So I implore you, do not shy away from your setbacks. Embrace them as the friends they truly are, the catalyst for your growth, the springboards for your evolution, the set for your most glorious comeback. Let us consider the nature of time itself. In our limited human perception, we see time as a linear progression past, present, future. But in the greater reality, all time exists simultaneously. Your comeback, your triumph, your ultimate success already exists in the eternal now. Your task then is not to create this success, but to step into it, to align your consciousness with the version of you who has already overcome, who has already staged the comeback, who is already living the life you desire. How do we achieve this alignment? Through the power of feeling. Feeling is the secret, the key that unlocks the door to your desired reality. When you can feel the reality of your comeback as vividly as you feel the chair you're sitting on, when you can taste the sweetness of your success as clearly as you taste your morning coffee, when you can hear the applause of your triumph as distinctly as you hear my voice now, that is when your comeback becomes inevitable. But remember, my dear friends, feeling is not mere emotion. It is not the fleeting excitement of a daydream or the temporary high of positive thinking. No, the feeling I speak of is a deep, unshakable knowing. It is the calm certainty of who has already arrived at their destination, looking back at the journey with gratitude and understanding. This feeling, this state of consciousness, is what transforms your setback into a setup. It is what alchemizes the lead or current circumstances into the gold of your desired reality. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, how can I feel the reality of my comeback when my current circumstances seem so dire? How can I ignore the evidence of my senses that tells me I'm in the midst of a setback? To you I say this, your senses show you only the shadow world, the world of effects. But you as the operant power live in the world of causes. Your imagination, your consciousness is the cause. The outer world is merely the effect. When you change the cause, your state of consciousness, the effect must follow. It has no choice. This is the law of your being, as inviolable as the law of gravity. So how do we practically apply this principle? How do we use our setbacks as a setup for our comeback? Let me guide you through a simple yet powerful exercise. Close your eyes now and bring to mind your current setback. See it clearly, feel the weight of it. Now imagine a screen before you, like a cinema screen. On this screen, project an interview of yourself having already overcome this setback. See yourself radiant with success, filled with the joy of accomplishment. Step into this image. Merge with it. Feel what it feels like to be this version of you. Feel the confidence in your stride, the peace in your heart, the clarity in your mind. This is the real you. The you that exists beyond time and space. The you that has already staged the comeback. Now open your eyes, but maintain this feeling. Carry it with you throughout your day. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. For as you do this, you are literally rearing the substance of the universe to match this inner state. You see, my beloved, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is the hermetic principle that governs all of creation. Your setback, then, is merely a shadow cast by an old state of consciousness. As you shift into the consciousness of your comeback, the shadow must shift as well. It has no choice. It is law. But let us go even further. Let us transcend the very concept of setbacks and comebacks altogether. For in the highest truth, there is no separation between you and your desire. There is no gap to be bridged, no distance to be traveled. You have already that which you seek to become. Your comeback is not something to be achieved in the future, but a reality to be recognized now. The journey from setback to comeback is not a physical one, but a journey of awareness. It is the journey from forgetting to remembering, from sleep to awakening, from the illusion of separation to the reality of oneness. In this life, your setback is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a gift to be unwrapped. It is the universe's way of inviting you to remember your true nature, to reclaim your power, to step into the fullness of who you really are. So, my dear friends, I ask you now, will you accept this invitation? Will you unwrap this gift? Will you allow your setback to be the setup for the grandest comeback of all? The comeback to your true self. For make no mistake, this is the ultimate comeback. It is the return to the awareness of your divine nature, the recognition of your oneness with all of creation. It is the realization that you are not a mere mortal striving against the winds of fate, but the very wind itself, the force that shapes reality. In this realization lies the secret of all comebacks. For when you know, truly know, that you are the creator of your reality, what setback can possibly stand in your way? What obstacle can resist the power of your consciousness? None, I tell you, none at all. So let us reframe our understanding of setbacks. Let us see them not as punishments or misfortunes, but as opportunities. Opportunities to remember, to awaken, to create anew. When faced with a setback, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, what is this inviting me to become? What greater version of myself is this calling forth? For you see, the setback is not happening to you, it is happening for you. It is the universe, which is nothing other than your own expanded self, conspiring in your favor, setting the stage for your grandest performance yet. Think of it this way, the setback is the resistance that strengthens your muscles. It is the question that deepens your wisdom. It is the darkness that makes your light shine brighter. Without the setback, there can be no comeback. Without the fall, there can be no rise. Without the winter, there can be no glorious spring. So, embrace your setbacks. Welcome them as old friends, for they are the heroes of your comeback, the harbingers of your greatness. But remember, the power lies not in the setback itself, but in your response to it. It is your consciousness, your imagination, that transforms the setback into a setup for comeback. So how will you choose to respond? Will you succumb to despair, or will you rise in triumph? Will you see yourself as a victim of circumstance, or as the master of your fate? The choice, as always, is yours, for you are the operant power. You are the deciding factor. You are the God of your universe. Choose wisely, my beloved. Choose to see your setback as the setup it truly is. Choose to feel the reality of your comeback now. Choose to live from the end, to embody the state of your wish fulfilled. As you make this choice, feel the power surging through you. Feel the alignment with your true self, with the God within. Feel the absolute certainty that your comeback is not just possible, but inevitable. For in truth, there is no power outside of you that can prevent your comeback. There is no force in the universe that can resist the creative power of your consciousness. You are the power you seek. You are the comeback you desire. You are the fulfillment of your own prophecy. So declare it now, feel it now, live it now. Your setback is the setup for your greatest comeback. It is done. It is finished. It is accomplished. Now go forth into your world with this knowing. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of your comeback. Let every breath you take be a celebration of your victory. For you are not moving towards your comeback. You are your comeback. You are the embodiment of triumph, the personification of resilience, the living proof that every set deed a setup for a glorious return. My dear friends, as we continue our exploration of this profound truth, let us delve even deeper into the mystical net of being. For you are not merely a physical entity navigating a material world. You are consciousness itself, temporarily expressing itself through this human form. In this light, what we perceive as setbacks are merely the contrast necessary for consciousness to experience and express itself more fully. Just as an artist needs both light and shadow to create depth in a painting, your consciousness utilizes these moments of perceived difficulty to add richness and dimension to your life's masterpiece. Imagine, if you will, a world without challenges, without obstacles, without setbacks. It would be a flat, monotonous existence, devoid of the very experiences that make life vibrant. and meaningful. It is through overcoming, through rising above, through staging our comebacks that we truly come alive. So I implore you, do not shy away from your setbacks. Embrace them as the friends they truly are, the catalyst for your growth, the springboards for your evolution, the setup for your most glorious comeback. Now let us consider the nature of time itself. In our limited human perception, we see time as a linear progression, past, present, future. But in the greater reality, all time exists simultaneously. Your comeback, your triumph, your ultimate success already exists in the eternal now. Your task then is not to create this success, but to step into it, to align your consciousness with the version of you who has already overcome, who has already staged the comeback, who is already living the life you desire. How do we achieve this alignment? Through the power of feeling. Feeling is the secret, the key that unlocks the door to your desired reality. When you can feel the reality of comeback as vividly as you feel the chair you're sitting on, when you can taste the sweetness of success as clearly as you taste your morning coffee, when you can hear the applause of your triumph as distinctly as you hear my voice now, that is when your comeback becomes inevitable. But remember, my dear friends, feeling is not mere emotion. It is not the fleeting excitement of a daydream or the temporary high of positive thinking. No, the feeling I speak of is a deep, unshakable knowing. It is the calm certainty of one who has already arrived at their destination, looking back at the journey with gratitude and understanding. This feeling, this state of consciousness, is what transforms your setback into a setup. It is what alchemizes the lead of your current circumstances into the gold of your desired reality. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, how can I feel the reality of my comeback when my current circumstances seem so dire? How can I ignore the evidence of my senses that tells me I'm in the midst of a setback? To you I say this, your senses show you only the shadow world, the world of effects. But you as the operant power live in the world of causes. Your imagination, your consciousness is the cause. The outer world is merely the effect. When you change the cause, your state of consciousness, the effect must follow. It has no choice. This is the law of your being, as inviolable as the law of gravity. So how do we practically apply this principle? How do we use our setbacks as the setup for our comeback? Let me guide you through a simple, yet powerful exercise. Close your eyes now and bring to mind your current setback. See it clearly, feel the weight of it. Now imagine a screen before you like a screen. On this screen, project an image of yourself having already overcome this setback. See yourself radiant with success, filled with the joy of accomplishment. Step into this image, merge with it. Feel what it feels like to be this version of you. Feel the confidence in your stride, the peace in your heart, the clarity in your mind. This is the real you, the you that exists beyond time and space, the you that has already staged the comeback. Now open your eyes, but maintain this feeling. Carry it with you throughout your day. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. For as you do this, you are literally rearranging the substance of the universe to match this inner state. You see, my beloved, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is the Hermetic principle that governs all of creation. Your setback, then, is merely a shadow cast by an old state of consciousness. As you shift into the consciousness of your comeback, the shadow must shift as well. It has no choice. It is law. But let us go even further. Let us transcend the very concept of setbacks and comebacks altogether. For in the highest truth, there is no separation between you and your desire. There is no gap to be bridged, no distance to be traveled. You are already that which you seek to become. Your comeback is not something to be achieved in the future, but a reality to be recognized now. The journey from setback to comeback is not a physical one, but a journey of awareness. It is the journey from forgetting to remembering, from sleep to awakening, from the illusion of separation to the reality of oneness. In this life, your setback is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a gift to be unwrapped. It is the universe's way of inviting you to remember your true nature, to reclaim your power, to step into the fullness of who you really are. So, my dear friends, I ask you now, will you accept this invitation? Will you unwrap this gift? Will you allow your setback to be the setup for the grandest comeback of all, the comeback to your true self? For make no mistake, this is the ultimate comeback. It is the return to the awareness of your divine nature, the recognition of your oneness with all of creation. It is the realization that you are not a mere mortal striving against the wings of fate, but the very wind itself, the force that shapes reality. In this realization lies the secret of all comebacks. For when you truly know, that you are the creator of your reality, what setback can possibly stand in your way? What obstacle can resist the power of your consciousness? None, I tell you, none at all. So let us reframe our understanding of setbacks. Let us see them not as punishments or misfortunes, but as opportunities. Opportunities to remember, to awaken, to create anew. When faced with a setback, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead ask, what is this inviting me to become? What greater version of myself is this calling forth? If you see the setback is not happening to you, it is happening for you. It is the universe, which is nothing other than your own expanded self, conspiring in your favor, setting the stage for your grandest performance yet. Think of it this way, the setback is the resistance that strengthens your muscles. It is the question that deepens your wisdom. It is the darkness that makes your light shine brighter. Without the setback, there can be no comeback. Without the fall, there can be no rise. Without the winter, there can be no glorious spring. So embrace your setbacks. Welcome them as old friends, for they are the heralds of your comeback, the harbingers of your greatness. But remember, the power lies not in the setback itself, but in your response to it. It is your consciousness, your imagination that transforms the setback into a setup for comeback. So how will you choose to respond? Will you succumb to despair, or will you rise in triumph? Will you see yourself as a victim of circumstance or as the master of your fate? The choice, as always, is yours. For you are the operant power. You are the deciding factor. You are the God of your universe. Choose wisely, my beloved. Choose to see your set as a setup it truly is. Choose to feel the reality of your comeback now. Choose to live from the end, to embody the state of your wish fulfilled. As you make this choice, feel the power surging through you. Feel the alignment with your true self, with the God within. Feel the absolute certainty that your comeback is not just possible, but inevitable. For in truth, there is no power outside of you that can prevent your comeback. There is no force in the universe that can resist the creative power of your consciousness. You are the power you seek. You are the comeback you desire. You are the fulfillment of your own prophecy. So declare it now. Feel it now. Live it now. Your setback is the setup for your greatest comeback. It is done. It is finished. It is accomplished. Now go forth into your world with this knowing. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of your comeback. Let every breath you take be a celebration of your victory. For you are not moving towards your comeback. You are your comeback. You are the embodiment of triumph, the personification of resilience, the living proof that every setback is indeed a setup for a glorious return. My dear friends, as we delve even deeper into this profound truth, let us explore the very fabric of reality itself. For you see, what we perceive as the solid, physical world is, in truth, nothing more than a projection of consciousness. It is a dream, if you will, and you are the dreamer. In this dream, your setbacks are merely plot twists in the story you are telling yourself. They are the conflicts that make the narrative interesting, the challenges that give your character depth and dimension. But here's the magnificent truth: as the dreamer, you have the power to change the dream at any moment. You can rewrite the script, redirect the plot, transform the setback into the most magnificent comeback ever conceived. How do you do this? By changing your state of consciousness, by shifting your awareness from the limited perspective of the dream character to the unlimited perspective of the dreamer. From this higher vantage point, you can see that your setback is not a stumbling block, but a stepping stone. It is not an end, but a beginning. It is not a punishment, but a preparation. Imagine, if you will, that you are watching a play. The hero of this play faces a terrible setback. The audience gasps, their hearts heavy with sympathy for the protagonist's plight. But you, my dear, you are not just a member of the audience. You are the playwright, the director, and the lead actor all at once. You know that this setback is not the end of the story. In fact, it is the very thing that brings the hero's eventual triumph, all the more sweet, all the more satisfying, all the more glorious. This, beloved, is the perspective you must adopt in your own life. See your setbacks as the defeats, but as the necessary setup for your grand comeback. Feel the anticipation, the excitement of knowing that this challenge is merely the prelude to your grace and victory. But remember, it is not enough to intellectually understand this truth. You must feel it in the very depths of your being. You must embody it in every cell of your body, in every fiber of your being. So you see, the universe responds not to your thoughts, not to your words, but to your state of being. It mirrors back to you the consciousness you embody. So I ask you now, who are you being in the face of your setback? Are you being the victim, crushed by circumstances beyond your control? Or are you being the victor, confidently striding through this temporary challenge, knowing it is merely the setup for your comeback? Choose wisely, my dear friends, for as you choose your state of being, you choose your reality. Now let us take this understanding even feet further. Let us explore the quantum nature of reality. For in the realm of quantum physics, we discover that reality is not fixed, but fluid. It is not predetermined, but probabilistic. What does this mean for you in your comeback? It means that at every moment, there are interchangeable entries of realities, potential realities is available to you. Infinite versions of you living out infinite variations of your life story. There's a version of you who has already made the comeback, who has already overcome the setback, who is already living the life you dream of. Your task then is not to create this reality, but to tune into it, to align your consciousness with this version of God, to step into this reality as if stepping into a new suit of clothes. How do you do this? Through the power of your imagination. For your imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the very interface between you and the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you imagine your coming back vividly, when you feel it as real, you are literally tuning your consciousness to that frequency. You are aligning yourself with that version of reality. And here's the magical part. As you maintain this state, as you persist in this feeling, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your inner state. This is not wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics. This is the law of your being. So, my beloved, I invite you now to use your imagination. Close your eyes and see yourself as you wish to be. See yourself having already made the comeback. Feel the joy, the satisfaction of this state. Make it vivid. Make it real. Engorge your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What does success taste like? What is the fragrance of triumph? Now open your eyes, but maintain this feeling. Carry it with you throughout your day. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. For as you do this, you are literally rearranging the substance of the universe to match this inner state. But let us go even further. Let us transcend the very concept of comebacks altogether. For in the highest truth, there is no separation between you and your desire. There is no gap to be bridged, no distance to be traveled. You are already that which you seek to become. Your comeback is not something to be achieved in the future, but a reality to be recognized now. The journey from setback to comeback is not a physical one, but a journey of awareness. It is the journey from forgetting to remembering, from sleep to awakening, from the illusion of separation to the reality of oneness. In this light, your setback is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a gift to be unwrapped. It is the universe's way of inviting you to remember your true nature, to reclaim your power, to step into the fullness of who you really are. So, my dear friends, I ask you now, will you accept this invitation? Will you unwrap this gift? Will you allow your setback to be the setup for the grandest comeback of all, the comeback to your true self? For make no mistake, this is the ultimate comeback. It is the return to the awareness of your divine nature, the recognition of your oneness with all of creation. It is the realization that you are not a mere mortal striving against the winds of fate, but the very wind itself, the force that shapes reality. In this realization lies the secret of all comebacks. For when you know, truly know, that you are the creator of your reality, what setback can possibly stand in your way? What obstacle can resist the power of your consciousness? None, I tell you, none at all. So let us reframe our understanding of setbacks. Let us see them not as punishments but misfortunes, but as opportunities. Opportunities to remember, to awaken, to create anew. When faced with a setback, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, what is this inviting me to become? What greater version of myself is this calling forth? For you see, the setback is not happening to you. It is happening for you. It is the universe, which is nothing other than your own expanded self, conspiring in your favor, setting the stage for your grandest performance yet. Think of it this way: the setback is the resistance that strengthens your muscles. It is the question that deepens your wisdom. It is the darkness that makes your light shine brighter. Without the setback, there can be no comeback. Without the fall, there can be no rise. Without the winter, there can be no glorious spring. So, embrace your setbacks, welcome them as old friends, for they are the heralds of your comeback, the harbingers of your greatness. But remember, the power lies not in the setback itself, but in your response to it. It is your consciousness, your imagination, that transforms the setback into a setup for comeback. So how will you choose to respond? Will you succumb to despair? Or will you rise in triumph? Will you see yourself as a victim of circumstance, or as the master of your fate? The choice as always is yours, for you are the operant power. You are the deciding factor. You are the God of your universe. Choose wisely, my beloved. Choose to see your setback as the setup it truly is. Choose to feel the reality of your comeback now. Choose to live from the end, to embody the state of your wish fulfilled. As you make this choice, feel the power surging through you. Feel the alignment with your true self, with the God within. Feel the absolute certainty that your comeback is not just possible, but inevitable. For in truth, there is no power outside of you that can prevent your comeback. There is no force in the universe that can resist the creative power of your consciousness. You are the power you seek. You are the comeback you desire. You are the fulfillment of your own prophecy. So declare it now, feel it now, live it now. Your setback is the setup for your greatest comeback. It is done. It is finished. It is accomplished. Now go forth into your world with this knowing. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of your comeback. Let every breath you take be a celebration of your victory. For you are not moving towards your comeback. You are your comeback. You are the embodiment of triumph, the personification of resilience, the living proof that every setback is indeed a setup for a glorious return. My dear friends, as we reach the culmination of our exploration, let us embrace the fullness of this truth. Let us allow it to permeate every aspect of our being, to transform not just our understanding, but our very experience of life. So you see the principle we have been discussing, that a setback is a setup for a comeback, is not merely a motivational platitude. It is a fundamental law of existence, as real and as immutable as gravity itself. Just as an archer must draw back the bowstring to propel the arrow forward, just as a spring must be compressed to release its energy, so too must you experience the tension of setback to launch into the glory of your comeback. But here's the critical point. the power of the comeback is directly proportional to the depth of the setback. The further back you're pulled, the further forward you can spring. The darker the night, the brighter the dawn. So I implore you, do not resist your setbacks. Do not fight against them or bemoan their presence in your life. Instead, welcome them. Embrace them, for they are the very fuel that will pour your magnificent comeback. Imagine, if you will, that you are an alchemist. Your setbacks are the base metal, the lead that you have been given to work with. But you, my dear, possess the philosopher's stone. You have the power to transmute this lead into gold. What is this philosopher's stone? It is your consciousness. It is your power of imagination. It is your unshakable faith in the principle we have been discussing. As you apply this power to your setbacks, as you hold them in the alchemical fire of your consciousness, they begin to transform. The lead of disappointment becomes the gold of opportunity. The dross of defeat becomes the precious metal of triumph. But remember, this alchemy doesn't happen by itself. It requires your active participation. It demands that you maintain the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contrary evidence. This, my beloved, is when they falter. They allow the outer appearances to dictate their inner state. They let the setback define them, rather than defining the setback through the lens of their desired comeback. Do not fall into this trap. Stand firm in your knowing. Hold fast to your vision, for it is your persistence in the face of apparent failure that will ultimately bring about your success. Think of the butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. To an outside observer, the struggle might appear futile, even cruel. But it is precisely this struggle that strengthens the butterfly's wings, preparing it for flight. Your setbacks are your chrysalis. They are the cocoon in which you are transforming, growing, becoming. And just like the butterfly, when you emerge, you will soar to heights you never before possible. But here's a crucial point. The butterfly doesn't focus on the struggle. It doesn't bemoan its confinement. It simply pushes forward, driven by an innate knowing that it is meant to fly. This, my friends, is the consciousness you must adopt. Even in this of your setback, you must hold the unwavering conviction that you are meant to soar, that your comeback is not just possible, but inevitable. For you see, in the grand tapestry of existence, your comeback has already occurred. In the eternal now, where all time exists simultaneously, you have already triumphed. You have already overcome. You are already living your dream. Your task then is not to make the comeback happen, but to align yourself with the version of you who has already made it, to step into that reality, to embody that state of being. How do you do this? By living from the end, by feeling the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your comeback now, not as a future possibility, but as a present reality. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. Feel the exhilaration of having overcome your setback. Feel the confidence that comes from having turned your stumbling block into a stepping stone. Feel the deep, abiding peace of knowing that you are the master of your faith, the captain of your soul. This feeling, this state of being, is your true home. It is your natural state. The setback is the illusion. The comeback is the reality. As you persist in this state, as you make it your dwelling place, you will find that the outer world begins to shift. Circumstances will rearrange themselves. Opportunities will appear. People will enter your life who can assist you in your journey. For you see, the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. As you change within, it must change without. It has no choice. This is the law. But remember, this change may not be instant. There may be a time lag between your inner shift and its outer manifestation. This is where faith comes in. This is where you must stand firm in your knowing, even when appearances suggest otherwise.
My dear friends, the truth I speak of is this. Be confident you will get everything in life. Now you may be thinking, how can I be confident of getting everything when my current reality seems so far from my desires? This, my dear friends, is precisely where we must begin our journey of understanding. For the world you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own consciousness. It is the fruit of your past assumptions, beliefs, and imaginal acts. But here's the wonderful news. Just as your current reality is the result of your past thinking, your future reality can be shaped by your present imagination. You have within you the power to create any reality you desire. This power is your own wonderful human imagination. And it is God in action within you. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. The Bible tells us in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. What is this Word? It is not mere letters on a page or sounds from your lips. The Word is your inner conversation, your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. It is the mental chatter that runs through your mind day and night, shaping your reality in ways you may not even realize. When you truly grasp this concept, when you understand that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is the effect, you will begin to see why confidence in getting everything you desire is not just possible. It is a natural state of one who knows the law. But let me be clear. This confidence is not the brash arrogance of the ego. It is not a loud proclamation to the world of what you will achieve. No, the confidence I speak of is a quiet, unshakable knowing, is the calm assurance of a farmer who has planted his seeds and knows that the harvest will come in due season. This confidence comes from understanding the immutable law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a thing to be true and persist in that assumption, it must become a fact in your external world. It does not matter what your current circumstances are, what others may say, or what past experiences you've had. The law is absolute and works with mathematical precision. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. My dear friends, positive thinking alone is not enough. You must go beyond mere surface level affirmations and embody the state of having your desire fulfilled. You must live from the end. What do I mean by living from the end? It means that instead of looking at your current reality and trying to figure out how to get what you want, you imagine that you already have it. You step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You create a scene in your imagination that implies your desire has already been realized. And you dwell in that scene until it feels natural and real to you. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of constantly worrying about your bills or focusing on your lack, you would create a scene in your imagination where you are living the life of abundance. Perhaps you imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a substantial balance, or you feel the joy and relief of easily paying all your bills with money to spare. You would enter into this scene with all your senses, making it as vivid and real as possible. Is the key. You don't just do this once and forget about it. You return to this scene again and again, especially as you fall asleep at night. You make it your new inner conversation. Instead of telling yourself, I'm always broke or I can never get ahead, you consistently assume the feeling of financial abundance. You live as though it is already true. This, my friends, is the art of confident assumption. It is the practice of aligning your inner world with your desires, knowing that your outer world must conform to this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Don't I need to do something in the physical world to achieve my goals? This is a common misunderstanding. Of course, action has its place. But true, inspired action flows naturally from your state of being. When you have truly assumed the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the right actions at the right time. Consider for a moment how you would act if you already had everything you desired. Would you still be frantically searching for solutions? Would you be anxiously trying to make things happen? No, you would be calm, confident, and at peace. This is the state from which effective action springs. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is animated entirely by your consciousness. Therefore, trying to change things by manipulating the outer world is like trying to change your reflection in the mirror by touching the glass. The only way to change your reflection is to change yourself. And the mirror will faithfully reflect that change. This brings us to another crucial point. The importance of persistence. The law of assumption works with absolute precision, but it operates on its own time. Your desire may manifest immediately, or it may take weeks, months, or even years. The key is to persist in your assumption regardless of appearances. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you know that in due time it will sprout and grow into a mighty tree. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Once planted through your assumption, they will grow and manifest in your reality if you persist in nurturing them with your faith and continued assumption. Now, let's address a common obstacle that many face on this path. Doubt. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and faith is essential for the operation of the law. But here's the beautiful truth. Even if you have doubts, even if you don't believe 100 that this will work, you can still succeed. How? By persisting in spite of your doubts. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what you consciously believe and what you imagine to be true. If you consistently imagine and feel yourself living your desire, even if your conscious mind doubts, your subconscious will accept it as fact and begin to bring it into manifestation. This is why I often say, if you will assume your desire and live there as though it were true, no power on earth can stop it from becoming a fact. Your assumptions persisted in will harden into fact regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your senses. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this point. Many years ago, when I first began to understand this law, I was living in New York City, struggling to make ends meet. I desired to travel to Barbados to visit my family, but I had no money for the trip. Instead of focusing on my lack of funds, I began to imagine myself already in Barbados. Every night as I fell asleep, I would feel the tropical breeze on my skin, hear the sound of the waves, and feel the joy of being with my family. I persisted in this assumption for several weeks, and then the most remarkable thing happened. I received a letter from my brother in Barbados containing money for a ticket to come home. The circumstances arranged themselves perfectly, and within a short time I found myself actually in Barbados, experiencing in the flesh what I had so vividly imagined. This, my friends, is the power of confident assumption. It is the power to shape your reality through the creative use of your imagination. And this power is not limited to small things or material possessions. It extends to every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your career, your health, your spiritual growth. There's nothing that exists in this world that's not first conceived in someone's imagination. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about other people? Don't they have free will? How can I be confident of getting everything when it involves other people's decisions? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of the nature of reality. You see, everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are playing the parts that your consciousness has assigned to them. As you change your concept of self, as you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must conform to this new concept. This is not about controlling others. It's about understanding that your consciousness is the only operative power in your world. Have you ever had the experience of changing your attitude towards someone only to find that their behavior towards you changed as well, even though you didn't say or do anything different externally? This is the law in action. As within, so without. This understanding liberates you from the need to manipulate or control external circumstances. You no longer need to worry about how things will work out or try to force situations to conform to your desires. Your only job is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. The how, when, and where of its manifestation is not your concern. That is the job of the law, which works with a wisdom far beyond your conscious reasoning. Let's take this a step further. Not only can you be confident of getting everything you desire in life, but you can also be confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You see, as you begin to live from this new state of being, as you embody the person who has everything they desire, you'll find that your perception of challenges and obstacles changes. What once seemed like insurmountable problems become opportunities for growth and expansion. You begin to see every experience, whether seemingly good or bad, as a perfect reflection of your consciousness, providing you with the exact lessons and growth you need at that moment. This shift in perspective is crucial. It allows you to maintain your confident assumption even when things don't appear to be going your way. You understand that appearances are just that. They are the shadow, not the substance. The substance is your consciousness, your inner assumption. Remember, the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is proportional to the naturalness of the state. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and real as possible. The more real it feels to you, the more quickly it will manifest in your outer world. Now let's address another important aspect of this practice: detachment. While it may seem contradictory, being confident that you will get everything in life also involves a degree of detachment from the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care about the result. Rather, it means that you trust in the law so completely that you don't feel the need to constantly check for signs of its working. Think about it this way. When you order something online, you don't spend every moment wondering if it will arrive. You place the order and then you go about your life confident that it will be delivered. This is the kind of detachment I'm talking about. You place your order with the universe through your assumption, and then you relax, knowing it must come to pass. This detachment also allows you to stay open to the infinite wisdom of your subconscious mind. Sometimes, what manifests may be even better than what you initially imagined. By staying detached from the specific form of your desire, you allow the law to work in ways that may surprise and delight you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be grappling with: the concept of worthiness. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I be confident of getting everything when I don't feel worthy? My dear friends, listen closely to this truth. You are already worthy. Your worthiness is not something you need to earn or prove. It is your birthright as a child of God. The feeling of unworthiness is simply a state, an assumption you have accepted about yourself. And like any state, it can be changed. How? By assuming a new state of worthiness, by living from the end as a person who knows their infinite worth and value. Remember, you are not a mere mortal trying to appease some external deity. You are God in action, the operant power in your world. The Bible tells us, I and my Father are one. This is not blasphemy. It is the highest truth. When you truly understand and embody this truth, confidence in getting everything you desire becomes your natural state of being. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It is a powerful creative force. When you are grateful for what you have, even before it manifests in your physical reality, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe, yes, I'm ready to receive more. But here's the key. Your gratitude must be genuine. It's not about pretending to be grateful for things you don't really appreciate. It's about finding genuine reasons to be thankful even in your current circumstances. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude, you'll find that more and more things come into your life for which to be grateful. This brings us to another important point. The power of your words. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words are a direct reflection of your assumptions. They are declarations to the universe of what you believe to be true. Therefore, be mindful of your speech. Speak as though you already have everything you desire. Let your words reflect the state of the wish fulfilled. For instance, instead of saying, I hope to be successful someday, say, I am successful. Instead of saying, I wish I had more money, say, I am abundantly prosperous. Your words should always align with your desired state, not your current circumstances. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of emotions in this process. Emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life to your imaginal acts. When you combine vivid imagination with strong, positive emotion, you create an irresistible force that must manifest in your reality. However, it's important to understand that the emotion you're aiming for is not excitement or anticipation. These emotions imply that you don't yet have what you desire. Instead, aim for the calm satisfaction of knowing that your desire is already yours. Feel the relief, the peace, the quiet joy of having your wish fulfilled. This ties into another crucial aspect of being confident. You will get everything in life living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means that you don't just imagine your desire for a few minutes a day and then go back to your old patterns of thought and behavior. Instead, you strive to embody the person who already has everything they desire. How would you think, feel, and act if you already had everything you wanted? How would you carry yourself? What would your daily routines look like? As you begin to live from this state, you'll find that your outer world naturally conforms to match your inner state of being. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you embark on this journey, the bridging of the gap. This is the period between when you start assuming your new state and when it fully manifests in your physical reality. This can often be a challenging time, as your senses may be telling you one thing while you're trying to assume another. During this time, it's crucial to remember that your senses only show you the effects of your past assumptions. They do not dictate your future. Your job during this bridging period is to persist in your new assumption, regardless of what your senses are telling you. This is where your faith is tested and strengthened. Think of it like this. When you decided to get in shape, you don't see results immediately. There's a period where you're putting in the work at the gym, eating right, but your body hasn't visibly changed yet. But if you persist, eventually your outer form catches up with your inner efforts. The same is true with your imaginative work. This brings us to another important point. The concept of divine timing. Sometimes your desires may manifest quickly. Other times it may take longer than you expected. Trust that there is a divine wisdom at work, orchestrating events in perfect timing for your highest good. Your job is not to try to force or rush the manifestation. Your job is simply to persist in your assumption, to live from the end and to trust in the perfect unfolding of the law. Remember, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and will not be late. Now, let's talk about something that many of you may be struggling. Letting go of the old story. You see, for your new assumption to take root and flourish, you must be willing to let go of your old beliefs and narratives about yourself and your life. This can be challenging, especially if you've held onto these beliefs for a long time. But remember, your old story, no matter how familiar it may be, is just that, a story. It's a series of assumptions you've made about yourself and your world. And just as you created that story, you have the power to create a new one. This process of letting go is not about fighting against your old beliefs or trying to forcefully push them away. That kind of resistance only gives them more power. Instead, it's about gently but persistently turning your attention away from the old story and towards your new assumption. Every time you catch yourself falling into old patterns of thought or behavior, simply remind yourself that's the old story. It's no longer relevant to who I am becoming. Then, consciously shift your focus back to your new assumption, your new story. This practice of mental diet is crucial. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, be mindful of what you're feeding your mind. Guard the portals of your mind. Be selective about the thoughts you entertain, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume. Everything should align with and support your new assumption. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you begin to apply these principles. The concept of revision. Revision is a powerful technique that allows you to rewrite your past and shape your present and future. The idea is simple yet profound. If you can change your memory of an event, you change its impact on your life. You see, your past only exists in your memory. And memory, like imagination, is a function of consciousness. Therefore, you have the power to revise your memories, to reimagine past events in a way that serves your present desires and future goals. This doesn't mean denying what happened. It means reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you rather than limits you. For instance, if you have a memory of failure or rejection that's holding you back, you can revise that memory. Reimagine the scene with a different outcome. See yourself succeeding, being accepted, thriving. As you practice revision, you'll find that not only does it change your relationship to your past, but it also shifts your present reality and opens up new possibilities for your future. This is because you're literally rewriting the story of your life. And as we've established, your story shapes your reality. Now let's talk about the importance of persistence. Being confident that you will get everything in life requires unwavering persistence in your assumption. This doesn't mean you never have doubts or moments of weakness. It means that despite these moments, you always return to your assumption. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may wobble and fall, but you get back up and try again. Eventually, maintaining balance becomes second nature. The same is true with your assumptions. At first, it may feel unnatural to assume a state that's different from your current reality. But with practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Remember, the law is always working. It doesn't turn on and off based on your moods or temporary lapses in faith. As long as you return to your assumption and persist in it, the law will bring it to pass. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of living in the present moment. While it's necessary to imagine and feel your desired future, it's equally important to be fully present in your current reality. Why? Because the present moment is where your power lies. It's the point of creation, the only place where you can make choices and take action. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring your goals or desires. It means being fully engaged with your life as it is now, while simultaneously holding the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. This balance allows you to appreciate and make the most of your current circumstances while confidently moving towards your desired reality. As we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize a fundamental truth. The confidence that you will get everything in life comes from knowing who you really are. You are not a limited, mortal being subject to the whims of an external world. You are a divine, infinite being, creating your reality through your consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, confidence becomes your natural state. You no longer need to strive or struggle to achieve your desires. You simply assume the state of the wish fulfilled, knowing that it must manifest in your physical reality. My dear friends, as you leave here today, I urge you to begin living from this new understanding. Choose an aspect of your life where you desire change. Create a scene that implies this change has already occurred. Enter into that scene with all your senses. Feel the reality of it. Then carry that feeling with you throughout your day. Watch how your perception shifts. Notice how opportunities aligned with your desire begin to present themselves. Pay attention to the subtle changes in your relationships, your circumstances, your entire world. Remember, the outer world is constantly conforming to your inner assumptions. As you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your reality has no choice but to reflect this back to you. Be patient with yourself in this process. Like any new skill, it takes practice. There may be times when you slip back into old patterns of thought. When this happens, gently but firmly bring your attention back to your desired state. Persist. And above all, have faith. Faith not in some external power, but in the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. Trust in the law that states whatever you assume and feel to be true must and will objectify itself in your world. Go forth now and live from the end. Act as though you already have everything you desire. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, the gratitude of having all that you want. And watch and wonder as your world transforms to match your inner state. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your life story. Write it beautifully, live it fully, and watch as your dreams unfold into your living reality. Thank you. And may your imagination be filled with the grandest visions of your ideal life. For as you imagine and feel it to be real, so it must become. In closing, my dear friends, I want to leave you with this final thought. The journey you're embarking on, the journey of conscious creation, is the most important work you will ever do. It is nothing less than the discovery and expression of your true divine nature. As you practice these principles, as you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you're not just changing your external circumstances, you're evolving your consciousness. You're expanding your awareness of who you truly are, what you're capable of creating. This work requires courage. It requires faith. It requires persistence. But the rewards are beyond anything you can currently imagine. For when you master the art of conscious creation, when you fully embody the truth that you are the operant power in your world, you step into a life of true freedom, joy, and limitless possibility. So go forth with confidence, my friends. Know that you have within you everything you need to create the life of your dreams. Trust in the law, persist in your assumptions, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Remember, the world is your mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you your innermost assumptions and beliefs. As you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the promise and the power of the law. Be bold in your imagining. Dream big. Assume states that may seem impossible from your current standpoint, for nothing is impossible to the power that resides within you. And as you walk this path, as you begin to see the fruits of your imaginative work manifesting in your reality, share this knowledge with others. Help them to awaken to their own divine nature, to their own creative power. For as more and more individuals awaken to this truth, as more and more people begin to consciously create their reality, we move closer to a world of harmony, abundance, and joy for all. This, my friends, is the great work we are all called to do. This is the true purpose of our existence, to awaken to our divine nature and to create a world that reflects the highest and best within us. So go now with confidence, with faith, with persistence. Know that you will get everything in life, for you are the creator of your reality. The power is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch as miracles unfold in your life and in the world around you. Thank you, and may your journey be filled with wonder, joy, and the thrill of conscious creation, for you are the operant power.
There is a power within you so great, so divine, so absolutely so, that if you but awaken to it, you will never again live as though you are a victim of circumstances. You will no longer beg, plead, or wait. You will simply assume. You will assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you will watch in wonder as the world rearranges itself to mirror your inner state. My friend, I tell you, all things are possible to the one who dares to believe. And belief, as I have taught again and again, is not wishful thinking. It is the acceptance of a reality unseen. It is faith clothed in feeling. Now I have something to give you today. A secret so simple, yet so powerful, it has the ability to alter your entire existence. It consists of only 3 words, 3 sacred words, that when felt deeply and accepted as truth, will manifest your dreams into reality. You may ask, what are these 3 words? And I will tell you, but first, let us understand the nature of reality itself. Reality is not something out there. Reality is consciousness. All that you see, all that you experience, is but a reflection of the state you occupy within. The world is yourself pushed out, your assumptions hardened into fact, not because the outer world has any power of its own, but because you have imagined, accepted, and sustained them. Therefore, if you seek change, if you truly desire to manifest the life of your dreams, you must first change the inner conversations, the inner assumptions, the inner states. We have been taught to work hard, to struggle, to strive. But I tell you, effort is of the flesh. Manifestation is effortless when it comes from a place of inner knowing. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, without doubt, without contradiction, and rest in that assumption, all things are drawn unto you. You become magnetic, not because you chase your desires, but because you become one with them. And so the question arises, how can we enter this sacred state? How can we sustain the assumption long enough for it to manifest in form? This is where the 3 words come in. These words are not to be spoken merely with the lips, but to be accepted with the heart. They are to be felt, not recited. They are the key that unlocks the door to the infinite. These 3 words are, it is done. Yes, my dear friend, it is done. Not I hope it happens. Not someday it will be. Not maybe if I try hard enough. No, it is done.
And in those 3 words lies the power to bend reality. Because when you say it is done, you are no longer entertaining the possibility of failure. You are no longer seeking or yearning. You are no longer doubting or waiting. You are declaring that what you have imagined is already a fact, though unseen. Faith is not hoping for the future. Faith is claiming the future as present. It is done is the language of God. It is the final word. When God created the heavens and the earth, He did not say, I hope this works. No, He said, it is good, and then He rested. Why did He rest? Because the work was finished in consciousness. The creation was complete the moment He imagined and accepted it. The outer manifestation merely followed. So when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and declare within yourself, it is done, you are entering that same creative act. You are becoming the operant power. You are not looking at appearances, for appearances lie. You are not listening to the senses, for the senses only echo past assumptions. You are listening to the truth within. You are holding fast to the unseen and walking by faith. Let me tell you a story. A woman once came to me, desperate for healing. She had tried every treatment, every doctor, every remedy, yet the condition persisted. I said to her, do not pray for healing. Pray from the feeling of having been healed. Declare within yourself, it is done. At first, she resisted. Her mind said, but it's not done. The pain is still here. And I told her, do not worship facts. Worship the truth of your imagination. The facts are shadows. They will change. But the feeling you accept as real is the cause. And so she began. Every day, she would close her eyes, relax her body, and imagine herself free, walking, laughing, vibrant, alive. And as she felt this inner reality, she would say quietly, it is done. She said it not to convince the world, but to convince herself. She said it until the words no longer sounded like hope, but like truth. And then one day, without warning, the condition vanished. Her body reflected what her mind had already accepted. Do you see now? The law is always working. It does not care if you use it in ignorance or in wisdom. If you say within yourself, I am poor, the world will show you poverty. If you say, no one loves me, the world will reflect your loneliness. But if you dare to say it is done, and feel that your desires are already yours, then so they shall be. These 3 words are not magic. They are not a formula. They are a declaration of identity. When you say it is done, you are stepping into the version of yourself who already has, who already is, who already knows. You are aligning with the end. And I have told you, the end is where we begin. Always imagine the end. Never the means, never the how, only the end. And feel it as if it is already true. If you wish to be rich, do not ask how the money will come. Instead, feel the joy of having it. Hear the sound of your new lifestyle. Smell the leather seats of your new car. Walk as if the wealth is already yours. And then say within, it is done. If you wish to be loved, do not seek the person or the path. Instead, rest in the warmth of love. Feel their arms around you. Hear their voice in your ear. Laugh with them in your mind. And then, in a whisper of power, say, it is done. If you wish to be free, to be healthy, to be joyful, then do not look to the world to give you permission. Give it to yourself now. Enter the state mentally. Dwell in it. Saturate your being with it. And from that feeling of completion, affirm it is done. You are not manifesting through effort. You are manifesting through identity. You are not chasing, you are remembering. Your dream is not outside of you. It is you, it is the truest version of you, already known in the eternal imagination of God. And when you say it is done, you are collapsing time. You are bringing the future into the now. You are calling things which are not as though they were. And the world must obey. Now let me ask you, can you believe without seeing? Can you trust the unseen more than the seen? Can you surrender the need to control and simply assume the end? If so, then nothing shall be impossible to you, because belief is not mental affirmation. It is a feeling, a conviction, a knowing. And the moment you feel your desire as real and declare it is done, the universe begins to move. You may not see the evidence right away. That does not matter. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, but it is growing nonetheless. Do not dig it up with doubt. Do not cancel your declaration with contradiction. Simply persist. Remain faithful to the assumption. And as surely as the sun rises, your world will reflect it. You have heard it said, ask and it shall be given. But I say to you, ask believing that it is already given. Ask from the state of fulfillment. Do not plead. Do not beg. Do not wait. Declare the end from the beginning. And rest in the assurance that your assumption, once sustained, must manifest. The law is impersonal. It does not reward the worthy. It reflects the persistent. So practice this. Choose one desire. Make it simple, if you must. Something you can easily imagine. Now close your eyes. See it. Feel it. Live in it. Imagine a scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. Make it vivid. Make it natural. And then from the depths of your being, say it is done. Say it with certainty. Say it with gratitude. Say it as if it were the final word. Do not say it and then look around for proof. That is doubt. Say it and go about your day as if it was so. Walk in faith. Talk in faith. Think in faith. And the world will catch up to your inner conviction. It must. For consciousness is the only reality. These three words, it is done, are the key to freedom. They lift you out of longing and into possession. They transform you from a seeker into a creator. They eliminate resistance and align you with the frequency of your desire, because you are no longer asking for it. You are being it. All great masters have used this truth. When the master healed, he did not say, you will be healed. He said, you are healed. When he raised the dead, he did not hope they would rise. He said, come forth. He spoke the end as if it already was. That is power. That is dominion. And so I leave you with this. Try it. Not once, not as a test, but as a way of life. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and declare with boldness, it is done. And then walk in that state. Persist in that state. Let it saturate your mind, your heart, your speech, your walk. Let it become who you are. And watch, my dear friend, as reality bends to your will, not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you are. You are the operant power. You are the dreamer dreaming the world into being. And now you know the secret. It is not complex. It is not far away. It is within you. 3 words. Infinite power. It is done. As you continue to say these words, it is done. Let them become more than just a mantra. Let them become your new inner atmosphere. Feel the weight of them. Feel the finality, the certainty. Let them settle in your bones and echo through your chest. You are not trying to convince anyone. You are not performing. You are not wishing. You are knowing. And it is that knowing which moves mountains. When you think of your desire, think of it from the end, not toward it. If you desire a certain lifestyle, do not ask how to get there. Assume you are already living it. Feel the fabric of the clothes you would wear. Walk through the house in your imagination. Smell the air, hear the sounds, touch the walls. Let it be so vivid that it blots out the present moment. And then say, without hesitation, it is done. And move on with your day, not as the old self, but as the version of you who already lives in the fulfillment of that dream. You must understand. Your outer world cannot help but conform to your inner world. It is law. But most people live backwards. They look at what is and they react. They worry. They fear. They affirm what they do not want by giving it their emotional energy. And so it continues. But the one who knows the law lives from within. They close their eyes to the evidence of the senses and open their inner eye to the world they are creating. They live as if they assume the end. And they know that their assumption, once persisted in, must harden into fact. These 3 words are not just a statement. They are a shift in consciousness. When you say it is done, you are exiting time. You are entering the timeless realm of imagination, where all things are already finished. Every possibility exists now, and the one you give your attention to, the one you feel as real, is the one that will externalize. So stop wondering when. Stop measuring time. Stop doubting the unseen. Instead, go within. See the end. Feel the joy of it. And say, with the assurance of one who knows, it is done. If doubt arises, do not argue with it. Do not fight. Simply return to the feeling. Go back to your scene. Re-enter the state. Say it again. It is done. Let it wash over you like warm light. Let it take root. Let it become natural. As you persist in this assumption, something begins to shift. Not out there, but in you. And when it shifts in you, the world responds. This is how you manifest not just one desire, but a life of deliberate creation, a life where you no longer wait, no longer chase, no longer plead. You assume, you feel, you declare, and you receive, not through struggle, but through alignment. You have been given the greatest gift, the power to assume any identity, any reality, any condition. Use it. Use it wisely. Use it boldly. Use it lovingly. Each time you imagine and feel something as real, you are creating. And each time you say it is done, you are sealing it in consciousness. That seal is what gives it permission to come forth into form, even when nothing seems to happen, even when the outer world appears unchanged. Do not be moved. The change has already occurred where it matters in consciousness. And consciousness is always ahead of manifestation. The world is delayed echo. It will catch up. So do not let appearances shake you. Do not let time deceive you. Every moment you spend dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a moment spent creating the inevitable. You are chiseling out the shape of your new world. You are writing the script, even as the actors are still playing the old scene. But soon the curtain will fall, and the new act will begin. You will walk into the very scene you once only imagined. And when you do, you will remember these 3 words, not as theory, but as truth. When someone asks you how you did it, you will not say, I worked harder, or I got lucky. You will smile, and perhaps you'll whisper softly, it is done, because you will know that the power was never outside of you. It was in your assumption, your feeling, your faith. You will realize that you were not manifesting things. You were manifesting versions of yourself. Each desire fulfilled was simply you stepping into another dimension of yourself, another state of consciousness. The money, the love, the success, these are shadows. They are reflections of the state. And when you say it is done, you are stepping fully into that new state, embodying it, claiming it, becoming it. This is why I say to you, feel your wish fulfilled, not once, not briefly, but dwell in it, marinate in it. Let it become your home. Do not merely visit it when things go wrong. Live there. Think from it. Speak from it. Act from it. Let that version of you whole, fulfilled, abundant, be the one who shows up in the world each day. It may take a day, a week, a month. That does not matter. Time is irrelevant to the one who knows it is already done. If it is done, then there is no question of when. You would not ask, when will the sun rise, after it has already risen. You would not ask, when will I receive it, if it were already in your hand. So speak from the end. Move as if, and let the rest unfold in its perfect way. If you waver, return to your inner sanctuary. Sit quietly, breathe, enter the scene, feel the joy, and once again declare, it is done. This is your sacred tool, your creative wand, your divine password to the infinite. And soon you will begin to notice shifts. People will speak differently. Opportunities will arise. Coincidences will pile up. But do not be surprised. This is simply your new state becoming visible. The unseen becoming seen. The Word made flesh. It is done. And because it is done in consciousness, it must now be done in form. That is the law. That is the promise. That is the nature of reality. So hold fast to these words. Not with desperation. Not with grasping. But with quiet power. Say them not as a wish, but as a decree. A king does not beg his kingdom to obey. He commands. A queen does not ask permission to rule. She assumes her throne. In the same way, you must assume your desire is already yours. That is the secret. That is the great mystery unveiled. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. And the moment you say it is done, you are that which you seek. You begin to walk differently. You speak differently. You respond to life differently. Not because something has changed outside, but because everything has changed within. Your assumptions create your reality, and you are always assuming something. The only question is, are you assuming what you desire, or are you assuming its absence? Every time you say, it is done, you align yourself with the frequency of the wish fulfilled. You begin to think the thoughts you would think if it were true. You begin to feel the feelings you would feel if it were already yours. And that frequency, sustained and undisturbed, is what brings the unseen into form. Do not confuse motion with creation. Many people run, chase, hustle, and strive, and still remain unfulfilled, because true creation happens in stillness, in silence, in imagination, in faith, not in the chaos of trying, but in the serenity of knowing. Your greatest power is not in doing, it is in assuming. Assume the end, and remain faithful to it, regardless of what the senses report, regardless of what others say. The world may laugh, it may scoff, it may resist, but it is not your concern. Their reactions are echoes of old assumptions. Let them pass. You are creating something new. You are calling forth a new pattern of reality, one that is not born of logic or statistics or probability, but of vision, emotion, and certainty. And when fear arises, and it will, do not deny it, but do not worship it either. See it as a passing shadow, a flicker of an old identity, a ghost of who you no longer are, and then return to the state. Feel it again, and whisper those 3 words that shatter doubt. It is done. Let that phrase be your shield and your sword, your anchor and your sail. Let it guide you through storms, through silence, through uncertainty, and trust that it is working, even when it looks like nothing is, because the seed does not sprout the moment you plant it. It germinates in the dark. It draws from the unseen, and only later does it break through the surface. So it is with your desire. You have planted it in the rich soil of imagination. You have watered it with feeling. You have sealed it with the sacred decree. It is done. Now trust. Let it unfold. Let it grow in its own perfect time. The harvest is certain. The more you say these words, the more natural they become. At first they may feel like a lie, but that is only the echo of the old self resisting its death. Persist. Continue. Each time you say it is done, the old fades and the new grows stronger. The false self begins to crumble, and the true self, the fulfilled self, emerges. You are not affirming a fantasy. You are affirming a deeper reality, one that exists beyond sight, beyond time. And the moment you feel it as true, you are tuning into it like a radio dial. And reality, ever faithful, responds to your signal. This is how you bend reality, not by force but by frequency, not by manipulation, but by alignment. You shift your identity, and the world mirrors it. You no longer beg for change. You become the change. You no longer plead for abundance. You embody abundance. You no longer chase love. You radiate love. And in doing so, everything that matches your new state must come. There is no need to worry how it will happen. That is not your role. The how belongs to the deeper intelligence, the same force that keeps your heart beating, that guides the stars, that blossoms the flowers. Your role is to decide what, to feel it as real, and to know it is done. That is enough. When you live from this place, life becomes effortless. You stop reacting. You stop doubting. You stop needing proof before belief. You believe, and the proof appears. You trust, and the path opens. You let go, and things fall into place. Not because you are lucky, but because you are finally aligned. The beautiful part is, you can begin now. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. Close your eyes. See it. Feel it. Breathe it. Own it. And declare it is done. That simple act is the turning point. That single decision can realign your entire life. Because with those 3 words, you are stepping into a new timeline, a new story, a new version of yourself. The more you persist in this story, the more the old fades away. The world, once unyielding, begins to soften. People change. Circumstances shift. Opportunities arise seemingly from nowhere. But they are not from nowhere. They are from within. They are the outer reflection of your inner assumption. Each time you are tempted to return to the old story, to the fear, the doubt, the lack, remember your power. Remember your authority. Speak the truth again. It is done. Let those words be the ground you stand on, the rhythm you walk to, the fire that fuels your every step. Do not wait for results to feel it. Feel it first, and the results will follow. That is the law. That is the secret. That is the way. You are not here to hope. You are not here to try. You are here to create. And creation begins in imagination, in the unseen. It begins the moment you refuse to be defined by what currently is, and instead choose to be defined by what is already done in your consciousness. Every time you assume the wish fulfilled and confidently say, it is done, you are stepping out of limitation and into infinite possibility. There is no greater illusion than separation. Separation from your desire, from your ideal, from your higher self. But the moment you say it is done, that illusion crumbles. You no longer chase the dream. You embody it. You no longer seek, you become. And in becoming, everything shifts. Your world begins to take shape around your new self. It begins to bow to your conviction, because all things must obey the assumption that is deeply felt and persistently held. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this. The mind will want to complicate it. It will demand steps, strategies, and proof. But the spirit knows this is not about effort. It's about alignment. This is not about force. It's about feeling. And nothing aligns faster than a soul who quietly, confidently declares, "It is done." You will notice this truth when you stop trying and start trusting. When you stop pushing and start assuming. When you stop looking for it out there and begin seeing it in here. And the more often you declare, "It is done," the more familiar it becomes. The more you say it from the depth of your being, the more it starts to feel like your natural state. And when it becomes natural, it becomes inevitable. The world around you is plastic, malleable, responsive. It is shaped and reshaped every day by your dominant state of being. This is why you must discipline your inner speech. Let your inner conversations reflect the reality you desire, not the one you fear. Speak to yourself as the one who already has it. Think from the result. Feel the joy now. That is the secret behind all miracles. You are not here to struggle through life, hoping for small favors. You are here to awaken to your divine power, to see yourself not as the victim of circumstances, but as the author of them. And the pen you use to write your world is imagination. The ink is feeling. The signature is your assumption that it is done. When you say these words, feel their gravity. You are not just making a statement. You are collapsing all timelines into one. The one where your wish is fulfilled. The one where it's already yours. The one where you are living the life you once longed for. And the more real that feels to you, the faster it arrives. This is why repetition matters. Not mechanical, lifeless repetition, but repetition charged with belief and emotion. When you say "it is done" with conviction, it imprints on your subconscious mind. It bypasses the doubts and begins to work behind the scenes, drawing people, events, and conditions to fulfill itself. The subconscious mind does not question. It does not judge. It simply accepts what you feel to be true and expresses it in form. It mirrors back your assumptions. So take care with what you assume. Take care with what you declare. Make sure it's what you want, because it will show up. Each time you return to your inner vision, each time you step into the feeling, you are reinforcing the bridge between the unseen and the seen. And every time you walk that bridge with certainty, you are shortening the distance. You are becoming the living embodiment of your desire. Let nothing distract you from this inner work. It is the most sacred, the most potent, the most creative act you can perform. It is the womb of all miracles. You do not need to broadcast it to the world. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to assume, and let life confirm it. When you close your eyes tonight, do not fall asleep in the story of lack, or waiting, or wondering. Fall asleep in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Hear the conversations you would hear if it were true. See the world as you would see it. Smile the smile you would smile, and softly whisper, "It is done." Let that be the lullaby that rocks you into the creative depths of sleep. When you wake, do not pick up the old story. Do not check the evidence of the senses. Instead, carry the feeling into your day. Move from it. Speak from it. Think from it. Be so immersed in the reality of your fulfillment that the old world cannot hold its shape anymore. It must dissolve. It must rearrange. It must make way for what you have declared to be done. You are the operant power. You are not at the mercy of fate or chance. You are not a leaf in the wind. You are the wind itself. You are consciousness, clothed in flesh, dreaming dreams into reality through assumption. And with every breath, every thought, every inner word, you are creating. So create wisely, create lovingly, create deliberately. Each time you say "it is done," say it as one who knows, not one who hopes. Say it as one who commands, not one who begs. Say it as one who has already received, not one who waits. This is your power. This is your truth. This is the secret that sages have known for centuries. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The riches, the love, the health, the joy. They are not out there waiting for you to earn them. They are within you now, waiting for you to claim them. And how do you claim them? Not by striving, not by suffering, not by suffering, not by suffering, not by proving your worth, but by assuming the state and declaring with unwavering certainty, "It is done." So I leave you with this truth, simple yet eternal. It is done. These 3 words are not mere affirmation. They are a command, a spiritual decree, a shift in identity. They carry the weight of creation itself. When spoken with conviction, they dissolve doubt, bend time, and reorder the universe to match your assumption. Never again say, I hope, or I wish, or maybe one day. Those are the voices of the old self, the self that waits, that fears, that believes in conditions. You are done with that. From this moment forward, speak only from fulfillment. Think only from the end. Feel only what you would feel if it were true. And when the world tempts you to waver, return to your center and say it again. It is done. Say it until the walls of limitation collapse. Say it until your body believes. Say it until your world reflects it. You are not here to wait for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are not here to chase your dreams. You are here to embody them. And now you know how. Walk from this moment as one who has already received. Let your actions be born from faith, not fear. Let your presence radiate the knowing that what you desire is already yours. And when others ask you the secret, smile and whisper the truth that has transformed your life. It is done.